What's up, guys? Welcome to this exciting episode on why you shouldn't go to an Ivy League college. Now, I've been in your shoes before. I know before this, I watched hundreds of videos about how to get into Ivy League colleges. I obsessed over that idea of getting into those dream colleges that I've always wanted to go to. But now that I am a little bit further down the road and I'm looking back, I realized why none of it actually mattered. Let's get into it. So, first reason why you don't want to apply to an Ivy League college. Going to an Ivy League college does not have any impact on how successful you are later in life. And I'm going to add a special note, especially if you are applying to medical school. Now, some of you might disagree with this statement, and there's lots of reasons why, and I'm not going to get into that completely. But what I do want to talk about is that a lot of what people don't see about Ivy League colleges is that the education is relatively the same. The only thing that changes are the people that you know. You know the experts in the industry. So if you just so happen to be the top of your class and happen to be able to handle your massive amounts of course load that you have, be able to handle competing with straight A students who are all Ivy League admits, while also having all these extracurricular activities and having access to the resources and starting your own ventures, then that's great. You will be able to have a pathway that is prescribed to success. However, it's never a determinant of success, and I wouldn't even say it's an advantage to have success, to be successful, because if you don't go to an Ivy League college, you have way more time that you can spend on trying to be successful. Instead of spending 90 to 100 hours a week doing school and the activities surrounding school, you can apply those hours to starting a business venture, to developing your skills, and really learning the material more than just trying to pass the test, to maybe making yourself a more interesting person that could get into a medical school, a law school, a whatever postgraduate school. If you're going to postgraduate school, Ivy League education does not make any difference. Point number 2, why you should not go to an Ivy League college. Ivy League colleges are expensive. Some state schools can offer tuition of about $3,000 a semester. I know that there are two schools in the state that I live in that offer this price. Community colleges can go even less than that. Ivy League colleges can cost $60,000, $65,000, $50,000, and pretty soon some of money will start to add up and you'll go into debt. Well, if we already established that it's not going to have a huge impact on your postgraduate placement, and maybe your income might not be significantly different as an Ivy League graduate in the same field, then it's not really a big advantage to you, and the cost is definitely greater than the benefit here. No matter what you do, if you apply a large amount of hours to being successful, you will be successful and you will make lots of money. The difference is you can do it the hard way of going down this path where you have to compete with everybody else who's trying to run down the same narrow stretch of land, or you can apply it to being into more development, unique ways that haven't been thought of, and you have more time to do that without spending that large amount of money. In the end, that money can make a big difference, especially if you don't have a job later that is easy to pay it off. Then not being in debt is an amazing advantage. Number 3 reason why you should not go to an Ivy League college or apply to an Ivy League college. When you go to an Ivy League college, you are committing yourself the death sentence to your personal development. When you get to one of those colleges, like I talked about, there'll be lots of prodigies there who have been obsessed with the subjects that they're studying their whole lives, and they've all been straight A students, and they've all easily obtained with great amounts of effort the A's that they got, and they are not going to stop and sacrifice them when they get to the college of their dreams. So you're competing against the most competitive pool of people, and it's way harder to get your grades. And since you are likely also one of these people that is extremely competitive, you're going to get sucked into this idea that you have to keep getting A's. And to be the top of your class and to get access to the best resources, you do. So, Malcolm Gladwell writes a great book on this called The Outliers, and he talks about how being at the top 10% of your class has the same effect on you in a lower level college as it does in one of these Ivy Leagues. And in fact, if you are at the top 10% of your college in a lower level college, you are way better off and bound to be way more successful than if you are anywhere else in the ladder at an Ivy League college. He goes and demonstrates this by showing that academians who are the top 10% of a more normal college go on to produce maybe 3, 4, 5 times more papers a year than those who were in maybe the 50th, 60th, 70th percentile at Harvard or at Stanford. I would recommend that you go check this book out. It is one of my favorites. Tip number 4, it creates unnecessary stress. We were talking about in point 3 how it can be a killer on your personal development because you're unable to participate in outside extracurricular activities because you're so sucked into school. But besides that, it can take a big toll on your mental health. When you're not able to do things that you love and maybe explore your passions, more things that aren't necessarily beneficial to you, to your career, but they are to your happiness, then it can be really stressful. For example, I love to rock climb and I love to paraglide, but when I don't get to do those things, I found myself significantly more stressed out and less happy of a person, as well as maybe a less agreeable person. And when I've been in classes that have been more about the grade than about the learning, and when I've been taking classes at higher level institutions and at lower level institutions, because I've magneted class at a community college style college near me, I've found that I'm significantly happier. And in the end, graduate schools don't care where your credits come from. I had a doctor that I worked with in the emergency room, and he went to Yale. But that's not the end of the story. He went to Yale for his residency when it mattered. But before that, he went to a community college, and then he went to a normal graduate level institution. And what he would always tell me is that the majority of his colleagues, over 70% of his colleagues at Yale, did not come from Ivy League institutions. So what does that have to say about your success? If you are a smart individual and you want to be successful, especially in the medical field, then it's actually a worse odds for you to go to one of those Ivy League institutions because you're more likely to be killed off. Whereas if you rise to the top of a lower level institution than an Ivy League, you're going to get all the resources and you're going to be able to go to a residency that is at one of these dream schools and have all the prestige, all the benefits that you have always dreamed about. So I hope you liked this video. I hope you take into context of these points and understand that going to an Ivy League isn't everything. And I know that this has been lots of your guys' dreams for so long, so it's really hard to accept. And the truth is, I know that many of you guys are going to go out there and keep searching for the solutions to get into those schools and apply to those schools and even go to those schools. But just remember, it is never too late to shift to a new perspective. If you want to take this other route that is the more viable solution for the majority of people, then it is open for you. Schools let you matriculate. I would highly recommend that you not go to an Ivy League, but I want you to achieve your dreams, and I want you to get into an Ivy League, regardless of whether you choose to go. So, if you liked this video, go check out the courses I make, go check out my other videos, subscribe to the channel, share it with somebody who you think might need it. I believe in you guys. I know you can get the scores on the test that you want, and I know that you can get the goals that you want for college. So, I'll see you next time.